So we had a chance to test the Bissell Pet Hair Eraser Turbo Plus this week. To be clear, this is the Pet Hair Eraser Turbo Plus 24613, not to be confused with the Pet Hair Eraser 1650A, which we reviewed last year. Like the previous version, it has the Anti-Tangle Brushroll, which we'll look at in depth later on, as well as a suction-powered turbo tool, which uses the same anti-tangle technology. It has adjustable suction, as well as a switch to turn the brush roll off so it doesn't scatter debris on hard floors. The Turbo Plus is the lightest model in the Bissell Pet Hair Eraser series, and by quite a lot. In fact, the weight is one of the main reasons I didn't like the older 1650A. That, and it had some other quirks which you can see in the review, which I will link in the description if you're interested. All in all, this turbo version is my favorite Bissell Pet Hair Eraser so far, but it's not perfect and there are some downsides. So links in the description, and let's get started. Starting off with the pros. The Anti-Tangle Brushroll really works. We recently tested it against the Shark Apex 0M, which is one of the only other vacuums out there with a similar anti-tangle technology, and it did surprisingly good. Whether it was 1 gram of 5-inch hair, 0.4 grams of 14-inch hair, or even 1 gram of 7-inch hair, it did perfectly. In fact, in that test, we found that you pretty much need to overload it with an unreasonable amount of hair for it to get tangled. Basically, Bissell has solved the brush tangle issue that's been around since the invention of the vacuum cleaner, so props to Bissell for that. Another pro is its ability to deep clean carpets. For this test, we embed sand into medium pile carpet and weigh the bends before and after, and it scored 98% twice in a row, which means it would have got second place in our commercial vacuum series that we did a few weeks ago, and those vacuums are on average much more expensive than the Bissell Pet Hair Eraser. So if you have lots of carpets and lots of pet hair, the Bissell Pet Hair Eraser is looking like a good choice for you. Another pro is with the attachment set. Mainly I'm talking about the turbo brush with the Pet Hair Eraser brush roll. It's only suction powered, but it's one of the few turbo tools on the market that claim to reduce tangles, which can really be a problem with those types of tools. As I mentioned before, it's pretty lightweight, at least compared to other Bissells, and it has an excellent swivel, and generally speaking it was really great with maneuverability. The wand and hose are really convenient and easy to remove to get larger debris, which is something that I love to see in upright vacuums and just makes the experience so much better. The final pro is that it's relatively quiet. We measured it at 74 decibels, which would have made it the winner if it was in that recent commercial vacuum competition that I mentioned earlier. It can't all be good news though, so let's move on to the cons. Its power was below average for this price range. We measured its suction at 67 inches and its airflow at 68 CFM at the hose and 48 CFM at the head, which aren't terrible numbers, but it's not very good either. Its lack of airflow and less than tight seal on hard floors showed up in the crevice pickup test, where it was one of the worst scores I've seen in a while. It wasn't able to pick up any of the debris from the 1/4-inch crevice, no matter how many passes I made. Don't get me wrong, it did its job. It picked up the debris nicely on both hard floors and carpet, as long as that debris was under a certain size. And that brings us to another con, which is that it doesn't have an adjustable height, which is not a bad thing in itself, but its height is set lower than I would like it to be, which means that it snowplows debris at about the Cheerios level, even on carpet. An optimistic way to look at that is realizing that the fact that it's set lower is probably also the reason it does so well with deep cleaning carpet. And you do have that really easy to use wand for larger debris anyway, so if the trade was large debris versus deep cleaning, I would probably pick deep cleaning in most cases. Related to its debris pickup is its blind spot, which is a result of the cover for the brush belt being placed near the middle of the brush. It's not a big deal, but it does basically mean you need to make 2 passes to make sure an area is covered, which is not great. Another con is that its filtration wasn't particularly good. I say it like that because I feel like it was better than average. It has a foam filter and a post-motor filter, which is not a HEPA filter, but looks like one. In any case, it was kind of middle of the road in terms of filtration. It had some visible fog in the 5-micron fog test, and it failed our dry particle test with a particle counter as well, but not by a huge amount. Basically, I would say that while it's not a sealed system with a HEPA filter, it's better than average at filtration. I think that the Bissell Pet Hair Eraser Turbo Plus is my favorite in the Pet Hair Eraser series so far. I really love the Anti-Tangle Brush. I think it works really well. It's way better than average at deep cleaning carpets. It has a really cool attachment set and is generally easy to use. I still wish it had slightly better filtration, debris size capability, and just a touch more power, but despite even all that, I think it's a pretty good vacuum. Links in the description, and be sure to subscribe to Vacuum Wars for all the latest vacuums, robot vacuums, and carpet cleaners, and thanks for watching.